So I went out one day to throw out my compost, and when I turned around to go back in the house, this is what I saw. I was out there for about 15 minutes just in awe. It was just gorgeous. The rainbow coming down on our house and over our fields, over our front yard. Anyways, really fun to see. This is the beginning when they're just starting to put the plumbing in. And here's where they come and they've put the gravel down, getting ready for the cement. And this is when they've poured, just after they poured the cement, we had to cover it. And it was really hot, but we were supposed to keep it wet and covered for about 4 or 5 days, maybe a little longer. Here's the framework going up. And here's where they've got the sides and some of the roofing done. So one day we didn't have the roof up, but we were standing outside, and this airplane flew over us and turned around and came straight at us. Scared us to death. He was spraying the crops, but we didn't know what he was doing at first. Once he started spraying, we figured out, but our farmer forgot to tell us about the crops. This wasn't the actual plane, but this is exactly what it looked like. We were standing right in that doorway. And here they are putting the insulation on before they put the roof up. And here they're starting to put the metal up on the inside of the building. It's all metal on the inside. There you can see a little bit better view of it. And there it is without our garage doors. Everything was done, but no garage doors and no word as to when it was going to come, when they were going to come. Anyways, we went ahead and started building the mezzanine, anyways, we call it a mezzanine, but a loft. And this is the shop and the bathroom, and then there's another little room in there. We decided instead of making L-shaped, we would just make it a rectangle and have an extra room. And there's the mezzanine, a little bit more done. And the electrical started going in. We have lights. Very exciting once we could turn some lights on. There is a drone view of the building and our farm. You can see all the beans around there. And this is just a view of the mezzanine from underneath. And you can see we decided at the last minute to not just have one story, but to put a second story on there. It has 3 rooms up there. We still haven't quite decided what we're going to do with all the space, but some of it will be storage, and we're going to have a big entertainment room up there. This is the stairs to the mezzanine. And here he's working on the lights for the building. And our son came to visit for a while, and he did the flooring for us in the upstairs and the bathroom and the extra room downstairs. And we're putting metal in around the building. We still aren't quite done with that, but almost. And the garage doors finally arrived after Steve called and complained a few times. We finally got them. And here's the mezzanine after we got it painted. And Steve finally got his tractor up there and is starting to work on the landscaping, mostly the driveway, so he can drive in and out of the different building, or the different garage doors. And we are doing epoxy on the workshop floor, and that's Steve and our son Sterling putting down the primer. And that's what it looked like when it's done. And we continue to keep putting a few metal pieces up. I think we have about 4 or 5 more to go. And here's our field. They started harvesting just the end of the first part of October, I think it was. And here you can see them harvesting. And this is our front yard, just to kind of give you an idea. Steve had just mowed, and you can see the beans where the fence is. We have beans over there, soybeans. It's about 5 acres that the house sits on. There's another shot where it's standing up from the deck and the house. overlooking our neighbor's house, and there's cattle that usually grazes across the street. And here's my garden that I planted in May and did absolutely wonderful, way better than anything I've ever done in Texas. Anyways, just another shot of it. The front part are melons. I probably had 40 to 50 different kinds of melons. I had honeydew, a yellow honeydew, and cantaloupe and watermelon. This is what I picked on average about every 3 to 4 days up there from July until we left a week ago, the first part of October. I also planted some flowers in front of the house. My cousin in Utah gave me some of her seeds from her flowers, and I planted them, and it was just gorgeous. This was our bedroom windows, those 3 windows. So wake up in the morning and see flowers and hummingbirds and bees. It was just so fun. There's some of the flowers up close. And this is what we see usually at night. I would say it looks gorgeous like this about every 2 to 3 nights, or maybe more. It's just every night if I could go out, I'd do and take pictures. This is one of the sunrises. I usually didn't get out there early enough to get it. We had to be out there 5:30 or 6, and I usually was reading my scriptures or practicing my Duolingo or doing something inside the house in the morning. I was usually up, but we can't see it from the house. I have to go outside to see the sunrise. Anyway, so this was the sun rising. This is our sunsets. And this is the moon coming up one night. There's another sunset, another sunset.